Hello, boys and girls. I am Miss Becky. Each week, I'll be here to share encouraging and uplifting stories with you, just the way Miss Kathy would have wanted us to. A Big Fat Zero. Pastor Hill stopped in the hallway of the church and listened. He thought he heard laughter and shouting. It sounded like a party, and it was coming from the shoebox. He stepped across the hall, opened the shoebox door, and stuck his head into the room. "Hey, why wasn't I invited?" he asked the primary Sabbath school class. Everyone laughed again. "It's not a party," Maria said. "Willie brought his dog Coco, and he's doing tricks." Pastor Hill looked at Coco, who was sitting quietly at the front of the room beside Willie. Then he looked at Mrs. Shue. "It's all right, Pastor," Mrs. Shue explained. "Willie and Coco are teaching us a few things about obedience. Coco is a very obedient dog." "Willie, you said that Coco has one more trick?" "Yes, Mrs. Shue. Coco wants to show you all how smart he is. He's going to answer 2 questions. Ready?" "How's he going to answer questions?" Chris asked. "Dogs can't talk." "Shh," everyone said. Willie asked, "Coco, what does sandpaper feel like?" "Roof," Coco said. Laughter exploded all over the shoebox again. Chris laughed so hard he fell off his chair. Pastor Hill joined in with everyone else. Even Willie was laughing, but he said, "One more question, Coco. What do you call the top of a house?" "Woof!" When the laughing slowed down, Pastor Hill went back out the door and waved goodbye as Mrs. Shue came back to the front. "Okay, class, it's time to settle down. Thank you, Willie. Let's see if Coco will sit quietly now for a few minutes." "Come on, Coco," Willie called, and Coco jumped up onto his lap and sat down. "Good boy." "As you know," Mrs. Shue began, "our lessons this week are about obedience. King Saul followed God's plan part of the way. He went to war against the Amalekites and destroyed them. The Amalekites had been very wicked, and God's instructions were to destroy everything they had. But Saul decided he had a better idea. He decided to keep the best of the cattle and sheep. He thought he had good reasons. But as he learned, when we obey only halfway, we have really disobeyed." "That's the truth," Willie interrupted. "I learned that this week." "Would you like to tell us about it, Willie?" Mrs. Shue asked. Willie shifted his wheelchair so he could see everyone. Coco was tired of seeing everyone. He lay down on Willie's lap and closed his eyes. "Last Wednesday, we had a test in English. My teacher, Mrs. Thurber, handed out the papers and told us to read the instructions carefully and get started." "I hate English tests," Jenny moaned. "Sometimes I do too," Willie agreed, "but this one said linking verbs at the top, and we had just studied those, so I wasn't too worried. In fact, when I read the directions, I thought it sounded pretty easy." "That's when I start worrying," Chris said. Willie laughed. "Anyway, the directions said circle the noun subject, underline the verb, and write the helping verb at the end of each sentence. There were only 10 sentences, so I got busy circling and underlining and finished in no time." "So what did that teach you?" Sammy said. "I'm getting to that." Later that day, Mrs. Thurber called me up to her desk. "I graded the English tests," she said, and handed mine to me. I wondered why she had called me up there until I noticed the red marks all over it and the grade at the top. I missed every one. I got a big fat 0. Willie waved his arms when he said it. Coco raised his head to see what was wrong. "Oh, sorry, Coco. It's okay. Go back to sleep." "What happened?" asked Maria. "Well, that's what I asked Mrs. Thurber. She pointed to my test. The test was over linking verbs. What did you tell me about linking verbs?" When I looked at it carefully, I saw what I did wrong. You forgot to write in the linking verbs at the end of the sentences," Dee Dee said suddenly, then put her hand over her mouth. "Ooh, sorry I interrupted you." Willie laughed. "It's okay. And you're right. I circled and underlined all the right things, but I didn't write in any linking verbs. I followed the directions only halfway, so I got it all wrong." "That's terrible," Sammy said. "A 0 on a test could give you a bad grade in English on your report card." Or did she let you go back and finish it right?" "No, she didn't. But when she saw the look on my face, she smiled and told me it was just a practice test. Boy, was I lucky." Everyone agreed. Mrs. Shue smiled and said, "So you learned that following the directions only halfway is just as bad as not following them at all." "That's right. And that night I understood my Sabbath school lesson. If you follow God's plan only part of the time, you can end up going the wrong way. And that'll be about as much fun as getting a big fat 0. Willie's right. When we don't follow God's plan, we don't end up happy the way He wants us to be. His plans and His rules are there to make us the happiest and healthiest people we can be. "Hey, Willie," Chris said, "I guess you could say that Jesus was teaching your English lessons this week." "That's right. Mrs. Shue, does that mean I can put another footprint on the board?" "Yes, Willie, you caught Jesus helping you. Aren't you glad you were watching for Him?" "I'm glad He's here watching out for me." And everyone agreed with that. The story you have heard today is from the Shoebox Kids Bible Stories, written by Jerry D. Thomas and used with permission from the Pacific Press Publishing Association. If you're interested in any other books published by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, please visit AdventistBookCenter.com or call 1-800-765-6955.
This podcast is a production of the Carolina Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.